Does your character want to use everything to its full potential? How can coffee grounds help indoor plants? What bugs hate coffee grounds and which ones love them? What do mushrooms have to do with this? Find out on this episode. Welcome to Writing Rule with Allie, the Fiction Writers Weekly inspiration station for rural life and lifestyles. From historical to post-apocalyptic, helping you bring your rural stories to life. I'm Allie, and this is episode number 78. 5 ways to turn coffee grounds into gardening magic. Okay, now let's get into this episode. Number 1. Composting and fertilizer. This one takes number 1 as it is the most well-known thing about used coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are often placed directly into the compost pile. However, they can be sprinkled on top of the dirt at the base of a plant to help fertilize the soil. While coffee is considered acidic, the grounds are not. The reason is that the acidity is water-soluble. This means that the acid is mostly in your coffee and not in the grounds. Coffee grounds are actually considered a neutral. This means it's not acidic or alkaline. When the grounds are added to the soil, or even compost, it does several things. First is that it adds nitrogen to the soil. This is a mineral that many plants need to thrive. Not only that, but it is a favorite food of worms. Worms will help with aeration and drainage of the soil. Both are important for your garden and help to produce not only more, but better quality produce. Other nutrients that they add to the soil are potassium, magnesium, and phosphorus. Coffee grounds also help in water retention. Now, if you're confused about why you want to have the water and you also want it to drain, you are not the first person to ask about that. You see, having water be able to get to the roots of the plant and have the time to be absorbed into the root system is important to the plant. However, if the water is standing water in many root systems, it will kill the plant. Similar to drowning, unless it is a wetland plant and thrives in aquatic conditions. Plants that like coffee grounds are, but are not limited to, tomatoes, marigolds, dill, parsnip, garlic, turnips, parsley, squash, peppers, carrots, cucumbers, and more. Plants that dislike coffee grounds are, but are not limited to, peas, asparagus, beans, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, beets, sunflowers, poppies, lavender, and more. Number 2. Repels garden insects. A great use for coffee grounds is to repel the insects. Some bugs have a reaction to the caffeine found in coffee, causing them heart issues and muscle spasms, which sounds crazy to me. But in my research, it says it's true. Not only that, but the caffeine overdoses are used by the EPA as a way to kill invasive species. The other ingredient that affects bugs is ditropine. Hope I pronounced that right. It is a chemical that can cause hormone fluctuations in insects and can make them very sick or even kill them. Ants are on the top of the list for me. To ants, coffee grounds mess with their sense of smell, which they rely on for finding food and how to get home. Not only that, but to my understanding, it smells dangerous. I'm not sure how one smells danger, but they tend to avoid coffee grounds, so I'm not going to complain. Other insects that it repels are beetles. Certain types of beetles will destroy garden plants in large chunks at a time. The same with caterpillars. Squash bugs are another that do not like coffee ground. Fruit flies are also repelled. I like this one because fruit flies bite. In my research, I have found many references to burning coffee grounds being able to repel mosquitoes. I'm not yet sure if it works, but I might have to try this one day. There is, however, one downside. Cockroaches love coffee grounds. This is not something that your character is going to want to leave around their home to entice them inside. Number 3. Growing mushrooms. Used coffee grounds have been used all over the world to grow mushrooms in. You heard that right. Coffee grounds are rich in all the nutrients that mushrooms need. They are great at retaining moisture. Also, mushroom soil needs to be sanitized before growing mushrooms. However, coffee grounds, they are sanitized during the brewing process. That means it will not need to be sanitized again unless your character did something to contaminate it. Number 4. Repels slugs and snails. Coffee grounds can repel slugs and snails. As I stated earlier, caffeine toxicity is a way to kill some insects. This is true with slugs and snails. Caffeine can kill them, and they try to avoid areas with ground coffee. This doesn't mean that there will be no slugs or snails. They can, and sometimes do, come into the garden even with coffee grounds. You see, it can take up to 2 days for the caffeine to kill them off. So, this is not an instantaneous death. Something to keep in mind. However, for the best results, your character should use the coffee grounds straight from the can, and not used. Yes, used coffee grounds work, but fresh ones work better in this case. Number 5. Inside plant fertilizer. Mixing used coffee grounds into potting soil before your character adds the plant will give the plant many benefits. This helps it to retain moisture, which is critical for potted plants that tend to dry out faster than those that are planted in the ground. Coffee grounds act like a sponge, holding on to the water and slowly releasing it. This is important for anyone, like me, who tends to forget to water their plants regularly. Seriously, cactuses are the only thing that are safe in my house. Coffee grounds also add valuable nutrients to the soil, such as nitrogen, which is essential for many plants. Plus, they can help deter pests like ants, which is a huge bonus if your character's home is close to a wooded area, or if they are in a place that tends to get little ant visitors looking for sugar. Fun fact! You can buy gardening soil with coffee already in the gardening soil mix. Speaking of coffee, I have a quick announcement. Writing Rule with Ellie now has its very own Buy Me a Coffee page. By making a one-time donation, you can access exclusive supporter-only content and message me directly. This is your chance to let me know what topics you would like to hear more about. I also have a membership. As a member, you'll be able to get behind-the-scene access to my projects, including early previews, and the opportunity to influence the content that you would like to see. Plus, you'll receive bite-sized pieces of rural wisdom which might, or might not, be featured in future podcast episodes, along with unique and entertaining personal stories you will not find anywhere else. If you're interested and want to learn more, check out the link in the description. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can find the link in my About section. And now, for everyone's favorite part. Likely to go wrong. Your character uses coffee grounds to repel ants from the garden. However, they then head into your character's home looking for food. Also likely to go wrong. Your character fertilizes a lavender patch with coffee grounds. However, instead of helping, the lavender soon starts to wilt. While coffee grounds are great for many plants, some, like lavender, do worse with coffee grounds. Also likely to go wrong. Your character adds coffee grounds to the compost and accidentally adds the filter too. The filter can be used to control weeds. If added to the soil, it can stop the roots of the seedlings from growing down like they need to. This will kill the plant. Possible to go wrong. Your character learns that burning coffee grounds can keep mosquitoes away. They decide to try it. However, when they do, they find the smell makes them queasy. Also possible to go wrong. Your character uses coffee grounds to help hold moisture in the soil. They add so many coffee grounds that it soon makes the plant's roots waterlogged, essentially drowning the plant. Unlikely to go wrong. The EPA comes onto your character's farm to try to stop the spread of an invasive species of bugs. Their method includes the caffeine in coffee grounds. However, this also kills off the good bugs that help your character's crops, and the crop size is reduced as a result. Also unlikely to go wrong. Your character uses only coffee grounds to try to grow a tomato plant. If it survives, the plant will look sickly and produce little to no fruit. Improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your character places coffee grounds into the garden to repel slugs and snails. However, the next day they come out and the plant is covered in slugs. While coffee grounds will kill slugs, it can take up to 2 days to do so. Also improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your character feeds their dog mushrooms they grow in the coffee grounds. Their dog loves it. However, one day their dog finds a wild mushroom and eats it. That mushroom was toxic to dogs. They will need to get the dog emergency help, or this could be deadly. Also improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your character doesn't take out the coffee grounds in a timely manner, and the cockroaches lay eggs in the coffee grounds. It's true. Roaches love coffee and will nest in the coffee grounds. Also improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your character decides to grow mushrooms in coffee grounds. They go into the forest to pick their mushrooms. Unknowingly, they pick a deadly mushroom. If they eat what they grow, it will kill them. However, if they feed it to someone else, they might be a killer. Thanks for listening. Until next time, happy wordsmithing!